A new game that I've gotten recently is Hyrule Warriors. And for those of you who jump on new games as soon as they're new, this is probably, well, it's about time. But for me, I like to sort of sit on my decisions and wait a while before I run out and buy the latest game. I want to save up money so I can actually afford it. I want to make sure it's a good choice for me. I want to weigh all sorts of other decisions. And I'm happy to say that one of the reasons why I didn't run out and buy this right away is not really an issue. I was worried that the game would be too hard for me to get used to because it was a game style that I wasn't accustomed to. I wasn't used to doing these run around hacking and slashing at large hordes of enemies, and I was afraid it would be overwhelming. But I'm happy to report that the gameplay style is very similar to another game that I enjoyed, which is Star Wars Battlefront. Both games involve you running onto the field, killing off large numbers of seemingly endless NPCs, and capturing territory by standing in a designated zone until that territory can be considered captured. Upon the capturing of said territory, the troops from the team that captured it begin to spawn on that spot, and you begin to build up a defense that will protect your home base. So if you like that kind of thing, then either Battlefront or Hyrule Warriors could be your kind of game. The difference between Star Wars Battlefront and Hyrule Warriors, other than slight little things like what type of weapons you use and whether or not you have vehicles on the field, etc., would be the fact that in Hyrule Warriors' story mode, you do have a few little things to point out. Like the fact that when you're running around on the field and you're given objectives, you're not very clear on where the objective is. The game really depends on you to be able to, one, read a map, and two, find the most direct path from where you are to where you want to go on said map. Sometimes you'll have to battle your way through other areas to activate a key to open a series of doors, or you might have to run around on the map searching for a very specific target to take that target out before you can progress, or you might be told to go to a certain location without any knowledge as to where that location is, except to look at the map. Those of us who have never played this game before will spend a lot of time running around on the field with no clue what direction to go in. Other things about this game to note is the fact that sometimes you will conquer a bunch of outposts, take a bunch of territories, take down a bunch of characters, and then suddenly you will have a point in the plot triggered and tons of enemies will suddenly spawn and take over those territories that you fought so hard to capture. Or you might be called off to some other direction to take care of something more important than the territory that you were focusing on. There might be even some parts of the battle that may or may not happen depending on your success or failure up to this point. So sometimes you'll be confident that you're winning, maybe even fighting the final boss of the area, and you'll suddenly be called off to do something else. Sometimes you may even know exactly what you're supposed to do, but not how to do it. For example, there is a boss in one of the levels where you have to use the hook shot to grab it and pull it down to earth. And in one battle area, you encounter this boss and you can do that with no problem. In another battle area, you encounter this same boss and your hook shot can't reach it because he's too high in the air. Now, instead of being able to casually hook shot him and pull him down, you have to activate a series of magic circles and a fairy fountain in order for the chains to get long enough to reach him. Little things like that that mess with your expectations. Little things like that aside, it is an interesting game. There are a wide variety of characters with different strengths and weaknesses, although most of these characters you're just going to find yourself running out onto the field, hacking and slashing with no thought to strategy. So it's really just everybody's equal in their strengths and abilities, with no one character being highly better than the others. It's basically different looking characters to make you excited that a certain character was included in the game. Also, if you haven't played every game in the Zelda series up until now, there may be a lot of characters that you're not familiar with, as well as many characters who you are familiar with who are maybe not included. But all in all, Hyrule Warriors has been a fun experience. I would definitely recommend it, especially to those of you who haven't been in this gaming genre and are maybe hesitant to check it out. Thank you for watching and good night. And I would definitely love to see bronies play this, because Hyrule Warriors is the game that you would play if you were a brony, if you've always wanted to be a member of the Royal Guard and spend your time protecting the princess and defending the castle.